On election night in 2016, I was in a hotel room north of Washington, D.C., preparing for an industry conference. I listened briefly to the election reporting, confident that the polls were right. Then I went to bed reading a book called The Plot to Hack America, about how the Russians were interfering in the election. I fell asleep with that book on my lap. I was concerned about what I was reading, but I was sure that the Russians had failed. I had faith in this country and its institutions. When I woke and saw the news, I felt like I was in a dream, and it's been like that ever since. I know many of you have felt the same way over these many months. Since that day in 2016, we've watched our country burn, figuratively and literally, and been shocked to see what our political leaders are capable of. But the most disturbing thing that I've learned isn't about our nation's leaders or the fragility or fallibility of our institutions. It's how easy it's been for so many of our fellow citizens to accept all this abuse and support it loudly. The politicians didn't do this damage on their own. People's attitudes and prejudices were already there, maybe a bit under the surface, but waiting to be released, waiting for an excuse. It's been like shining a black light in a hotel room. We may be shocked at what we see, but those stains have been there all along. It's been especially shocking to see how many religious people supported the abuse of other people. And now we see that the country's tragic and deadly response to COVID is only possible because many people openly reject science and reason. It's clear that religion can make people gullible, teach them how to follow, but not how to think. I became a UU because I want to think. I like thinking, and I'm a real fan of science. My first contact with the UU Fellowship of Bozeman was with the Humanist Group. My wife had died recently, and I needed connections. After her death, I realized that most of our friends were really her friends, and I needed to reach out. So I attended a couple of meetings of the Humanist Group, and I met some of the most intelligent and interesting people I've ever known. I later joined UUFB to be a part of a community of people with shared values and commitment. I often attend with my granddaughter to give her the benefit of an honest religious and moral education. Unitarian Universalists are on the right side of science and medicine, of climate change, of social justice, of reason. Of course, we're not alone. We join with many other religious faiths and denominations in the fight for reason, science, and social justice. But I think it's correct to say that we alone, of all churches, have abandoned religious dogma to embrace these values. Overall, in the United States, church membership has declined over the last few decades. We're seeing a rise of the religious nones, that's N-O-N-E-S, people who answer none when asked their religious affiliation. That number is about 30% today. And the toxic mixture of politics and religion we find in many churches appears to be driving people away even faster. UUs today can't claim that our membership is skyrocketing, but we aren't failing either, as some churches are. And I think there's an opportunity for our message of inclusion and a progressive, active faith to meet the needs of many more people in Montana and around the country. Lots of people are ready for our brand of religion, where the search for answers is as important as the answers themselves. But they need to know we're here. Ideally, they come to know us by our actions and maybe a little publicity too. Jesus said not to hide your light under a bed. We UUs don't evangelize, and I don't suggest we start, but I do want to see us grow to serve the community better and to serve the world better. With our immediate circumstance of COVID, we need to be most concerned about our fellowship staying even, not declining. We need to maintain our community and commitments, support one another through life's challenges. We need faith to get through this dark period in history, with everyone contributing what they're able. That's what this year's pledge goal is about, not falling behind and being prepared for the future. The sun will come out and the world will continue. Pledge packets were sent in the mail this week, including the pamphlet, Let's Do Together What We Cannot Do Alone, providing details of our 2021 goal and where the donations go. You can pledge through the mail or by giving to the website, going to the website uufbozeman.org. If you haven't received your pledge packet yet, please contact Christy at the email address admin, A-D-M-I-N, at uufbozeman.org. Whatever your pledge commitment, and even if you're unable to commit this year, please return a pledge form. We're already at just over 10% of our goal. Our brand of religion can lift up our communities and our country and our people. And maybe by worshiping and working together, by supporting this diverse community of faith through our examples of service with love, we can help reverse the tragedies of the last few years and keep them from happening again. We do not aspire to go back to normal, but to reach for a new normal, save the world. So please pledge what you're comfortable with, what you're able. Let's keep the light shining.